Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Rob. We have a brand new deck to introduce to our collection today. Not only is it a new deck for me, but it's a new deck for everybody around the world. This deck hasn't even come out yet, you guys. It comes out in September of this year. So we're in the year 2025. So it comes out this month. Right now it's the beginning of September. Exactly when in September, I'm not sure. They didn't give me that information. Llewellyn asked me if I would do a review of this deck, and I took a look at it, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It is the Verdance Tarot by Stephanie Pugh Moonlaw. And she is the creator of the popular Shadowscapes Tarot. And this new deck is a nature deck. It speaks to the softer side of tarot. That's what I have read about it. And so I'm excited to bring it to the channel. Once again, it hasn't even come out yet, but you can pre-order this deck already if you wish to do so. You can go into the Llewellyn website and do that. But brand new deck. Let's open this guy and let's see what's in there. You guys, this is a big box, so it doesn't fit all the way in the camera. Look how big this is compared to like another deck. Yeah, it's really huge. So this is what the back of the box reads, you guys, and looks like. So pause your device and read that if you like, of course. World-renowned artist Stephanie Pugh Moonlaw invites you to slow down, breathe deeply, and embrace the sacred within the everyday. Rather than imposing a rigid interpretation of symbolism, Verdance Tarot allows the landscape and its inhabitants to speak. What comes forth is a deck that feels alive and uniquely suited for those who find solace and inspiration from the divinity of Earth. So, you guys, it is, and here it gives you a couple of pictures of what this deck and these cards look like. So, let's open this thing, you guys. Let's see what is inside. You guys, I said this before and I'll say it again. I love opening new decks. I'm like a kid during Christmas Day whenever I get a new deck. And this is exactly why I love opening these decks with you guys on the channel, so you can share my enthusiasm. This is a big box, you guys, and it opens with magnets here. This is what the inside of the box looks like. Of course, hardcover box. Through verdant woods where secrets lie, an ancient one hails to the sky. May a path unfold to the glades where spirit speaks and truth pervades. The Verdant Companion. Stephanie Pugh Moonlaw. You guys, this is a huge book. This is one of those books that has over almost 300 pages here. And look how big it is. Wow, this is a big book. You guys, look at this. Stephanie, so when we look inside, you guys, it is completely printed in color. So they've spent a lot of money on this box. They've spent a lot of money on this book. Let's see what's in this book. Here's the content, you guys. Forward, introduction, getting started, meditations, symbols, keys, major arcana, minor arcana, Verdance Tarot spreads, a conversation with the artist, about the artist and author, and Stephanie Pugh Moonlaw, about co-author Benabel Venn. And so it's pretty complete, as you can see. I love the fact that it's in color, that it really is detailed. So I'm going to have to really take this to my nightstand, and this is going to be night reading for me, you guys. So pretty big book, absolutely wonderful, well done. This has that rose petal feeling here on the front and on the back. So like I said, it is really nice when I get a big piece of literature with my decks. But let's see what this deck and let's see what these cards look like. By the way, inside of the box again, it comes with this. And so this sort of comes out, and it's not secure here. And let's see. So here is a card on the creator, Stephanie Pugh Moonlaw. As you can see here, that's what the back of the card looks like, you guys. It's super, super cute. And it looks to me like it's totally reversible. So it's got that rose petal feeling. I am so happy that it has that sort of a feeling. It's pretty robust. So it's not one of those cards that feels flimsy. They actually feel pretty robust. It is your regular size, as you can see. They fit right on my hands, not a problem there. They're not gilded. And so let's walk through this deck. This is the Fool. I can already tell you that there's a lot to look at here, you guys. So you're going to really have to look carefully. And I've did a close-up of this deck as much as I could, but still there is so much. It looks like it's watercolor media. This is the Magician. This is the High Priestess. And, you know, like I was saying, and like the box reads and the book, this is all about nature. But how whimsical is this? The Empress. This is the Emperor. So if you are starting with the RWS, this is going to be one of those decks that's going to give you a little bit of a hard time. Here's the Hierophant. Here's the Lovers. Because the Chariot, you're not going to see your regular RWS pictures or artwork. This is the Strength. Even though here you know that this is Strength. And the cards have titles, so it's not like you don't have a title. The Hermit. Wow, they chose the Jaguar for the Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, they say that this one brings you luck, right? The Ladybug. Justice. And it's always with these animal decks, it's very interesting to see what animals they have picked for these different cards. This is the Hanged Man. This is Death. This is Temperance, you guys. Yeah, there's a lot to look at, you guys. The Devil. Even for me, looking at these cards right now, I feel like I really need to take a long time to look at one of these cards because, you know, me running through the cards like this, it will give you an idea of what this deck is all about. But, you know, to really see what's inside of these cards, I'm going to have to sit down and I'm going to have to look at them for a while. This is the Star. What a beautiful star. And the Moon. The Sun. I love the colibri, so I think that's a very pretty sun. And, you know, this gives me sort of fairy feelings and vibes. It gives me sort of, you know, not only is it, this one is Judgment, not only is it, you know, animals and insects, but it also has that aspect, this is the World, that it maybe comes from a different world. So Ace of Cups, because they are so pretty that it almost looks like it comes from another world, even though all of these creatures are from our world. This is the Two of Cups. How pretty. I love that. The Three of Cups. This is a deck that is so soothing. This is a deck that, this is the Four of Cups. That's not going to scream at you. This is a deck, Five of Cups, that if you are an animal lover, if you are a lover of art and this type of artwork, I think you're not going to be disappointed with this deck at all. This is the Six of Cups. This is the Seven of Cups. And here we see a human head. I wasn't thinking that we were going to see any humans on this deck. The Eight of Cups. This is the Nine of Cups. The Ten of Cups. How beautiful. And these are all pastel colors. So there's nothing or a color that is so bright that comes out or screams at you at all. This is the Page of Cups. On the other hand, it is so soothing. They could be perfect for meditation. Knight of Cups. This is the Queen of Cups. This is the King of Cups. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. You know, once again, artwork is absolutely stunning. This is the Ace of Coins. This is the Three of Coins. And the thing about these decks is that they're just so beautifully made. You know, this artwork is just, you know, how, you know, when somebody does this type of artwork, you think, wow, this is the 3 of coins. How talented are they? 4 of coins. And so for artwork, this deck gets an A+. Look at those images. They are gorgeous, really. This is the 5 of coins. And you see the bird here sort of drinking a drop of liquid here. It could be maybe something that the bees are producing. This is the 6 of coins, you guys. Beautiful. The 7 of coins. How pretty. Pretty is the word, not so much, yeah, beautiful, but this is pretty. This is the 8 of coins. And, you know, this is one of those decks I think that I would pull out if I wanted to have a peaceful reading. 9 of coins. If I wanted to have, you know, a deck that 10 of coins that would have to be soothing, I think this would be a perfect deck. I think this would be a perfect deck for that. This is the Page of Coins. This is the Knight of Coins. This is the Queen of Coins, and she's gorgeous. And I love the fact that they're frameless, really. I think if they would have put a frame there, it would have not worked, but they didn't. They made them frameless, and I think that that's beautiful. The King of Coins, I mean, for this sort of artwork, I think that a frame would not serve it right, but Ace of Swords, they didn't put a frame, so that's perfect. The 2 of Swords, and I can already tell that a lot of you are going to want to probably etch this deck. I've never etched a deck before, 3 of Swords, so maybe I'll look at some of your videos out there to see how you do that, because I just kind of leave my decks the way they are. 5 of Swords, I don't like to tamper with them too much. I know that there's some people that when they're framed, they cut the frames and then they etch them and they do this and they do that. I just kind of leave the deck the way it is, but I totally understand why people would change them. 6 of Swords, these are all personal choices. The 7 of Swords, you guys, pretty cool. Look, this one put its egg in there, and this one actually, and it killed all the little eggs. And so this is a story that happens all the time in the nature, actually. When this egg hatches, then this one takes care of it, and they do a lot. So it kind of like tricks them into thinking that this is their chick, but it's not. And so it's an interesting thing, and I love the fact that they use that for the 7 of Swords. It's perfect. This is the 8 of Swords. This is the 9 of Swords. There is a human face there, so we've seen a couple of human faces already. This is the 10 of Swords. This is the Page of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and this deck is published completely by Llewellyn, you guys. So, King of Swords, once again, brand new, hasn't even come out. Ace of Wands, and the 2 of Wands. I love that big bird there. He is starting his journey. This is the 3 of Wands. This is the 4 of Wands. The 5 of Wands. The 6 of Wands. Yeah, isn't beautiful? Wow. And look, he's standing there all proud, and there's all of the other animals just looking at it, and you know, and oftentimes we see this image a lot. It seems like, you know, the deer is the one that that all of the other animals sort of bow to or respect. I think it has to do something with the Aries. This is the 7 of Wands. This is the 8 of Wands. The 9 of Wands. This is the 10 of Wands. That is very, very pretty. This is the Page of Wands. The Knight of Wands, and here we see humans, you guys. They're riding animals, but you do see the humans. And finally, we have the beautiful Queen of Wands here, and she looks totally like a fairy. And we have the beautiful King of Wands here with a tiger and a fox running through. You guys, this is a very pretty deck. Very, very pretty. It's very gentle. It's very calming. I think if you're looking for a deck that is going to sort of not scream and just be gentle, I think this is going to be a deck that you may want to look into. The cards shuffle pretty well, as you can see. They're that rose petal, but they're not super rose petal, by the way. So I think you're not going to have a problem shuffling this deck. When it comes to doing a spread with this deck, it spreads okay. And here again, we have the 5 of coins. We have the 6 of coins. Very pretty, you guys. Very subtle colors. Nothing that screams at you. Nothing that really just pops out and wants to bite you. On the other hand, this is just a deck that it just sort of sings, if you know what I mean. This is definitely a talker. This is one that just gives it to you nice and gentle with a little bit of fantasy in there. And this is what this Verdance Tarot actually does. Beautiful deck. I'm so happy that this deck is in my collection. I'm gonna have to spend a little bit more time with it. It could be that this is a deck that I could be using, but I don't know how often, but it does look like a deck that would be extremely soothing. And so I'm going to spend more time with it, and then I'll let you guys know how our relationship is going. And this is brand new. I haven't had time to use it. As you saw, I just unwrapped it with you and it just got to me. And I wanted to put out the video because it's coming out soon. And so I wanted you to see it, to see if maybe this is a deck that you would like to add to your collection or to your practice, of course. And if you do, and if you have a deck like this, how have you been able to incorporate it into your collection? I mean, this sort of reminds me of Paulina Cassidy a little bit. You know, one of those decks, right? So I think you have to really like this sort of artwork, and you have to really get into this sort of artwork for this deck to work. So you guys, as I always say, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, you guys. And as I always say, until the next time.